Hello, happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Doug, the wedding officiant here with Engagement, here to help you with, life. Really, I'm not really a life coach, but we think we can give you some advice, and we know that together we're stronger than we are apart. We certainly know that this week. And welcome to Engagement. We're here to talk about things that this week, this month, we're talking about weddings and wedding pros and what you should and shouldn't do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Engagement. So you've all heard this before. I get this all the time. People say, "Hey, Doug, you're a wedding officiant and you have a channel, a live stream called Engagement. Is it all about getting married?" And the answer is no. It's a happy coincidence, really. Engagement in the dictionary means to engage, to come together, to have dialogue, to talk. Yes, some people get engaged, and yes, I do their weddings because that's what I do. And it's just a happy coincidence that this show, this channel is called Engagement. And by coincidence, not really, by design, we're talking for this month about weddings. Some people can't get to a wedding show. Some wedding shows have been canceled. And some people want to know who is out there in a more intimate setting where they can hear them, see them, and talk to them, or at least get an idea of what they're like. So that's where this show, this week, this month has come about. So it's the first of our 5-week series called Say Yes to the Pro. And I'm always tapping my local professionals on the shoulder to come in and help and talk and impart their wisdom. And today is no different. I have asked a couple of my friends to come along, and Lisa Lester is in the back room here. We're going to bring her in. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
So Lisa is from the Four Diamonds Entertainment Center at the Chatham Armories, and To Suit Your Fancies. You have a lot going on in your world. How's life?
It's great. I am so excited for this year, and with all the restrictions lifting, and I am just excited to get back to weddings. Let's do this. We are fully booked at the Chatham Armory this year.
Are you booked up?
Yeah.
Well,
we're booked up for 2023.
That's incredible.
And I'm working on 2023. So
yes. I've just started opening some months for 2023. So I think we just opened July because it's just, as you know, it's manic. It's hard to plan, hard to manage.
It is. I've had a few people contact me about 2024, and I'm like, just hold on a little bit.
Hang on. Just slow your roll. I mean, it's important. I mean, there are certain things you need to book up first. You need to book your venue, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have to have a place to get married. You need to, look at dresses because it's important. You need a dress. You need to book those really important things. And I like to think, and this is my quest, this is my soapbox, you need to book things that are very important near the top of the list. Yep. So you need to look at that list, and I think you need to shuffle it. And you're going to see me talk a lot about that over the next month. About, I think, in my own opinion, and you can send me emails or letters, I don't care. You need to move your officiant or celebrant up the list. It needs to be above your cake. It needs to be right. Yes, you want to book your hair. I get that. You want to get the girls in for their mani-pedis. But if you don't have an officiant or a celebrant at your wedding, you have a wedding-themed party. So
well, and just with how busy it is this year, like they're predicting this year to be the busiest year since 1984. I'm not sure what happened that year.
Yep.
But definitely book your vendors early. In my experience, most people do wait for their cake. And what was the other thing? Oh, like their shuttle service. Those seem to be like the last two things people book.
Yeah.
But everything else, get on it.
I love how you have a real way of humanizing what you do in the way of weddings and design. I love this post. I stole this off of your Facebook page. And it's all about the benefits. I mean, there's a benefit to having the services that you need around you. Talk about the services that you provide.
So at the Chatham Armory, our whole goal is to make your day and everything leading up worry free. Like we want to help you cover all the little details. And we are so happy to sit down with you. Actually, I do all the consultations myself because I just think it's really important for me to be there. So I
Hmm.
don't have employees doing the consults, I do them. We get down all your details. So the layout of the room, the schedule of the day, the bar details. We talk about your decor, of course. And I love it when the brides can create a vision board for me on Pinterest
Oh
because
yeah.
to me, it's not like this is what I have. I don't like to limit things. To me, it's making her or the couple's vision come to life. So create that vision board and I will do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, Pinterest is a great tool to be able to really look inside them, because they may not, they have a limited time with you. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's more, and they can't,
That's
you know, bring up everything that's in their mind. And if you share your Pinterest board with them, they can see what your style is, what you like, and then you can go from there. For those that don't know, the Armories is a juggernaut of a place. Here's a great
mm,
shot of it.
yes. It's a castle.
It is a
And
castle.
we get so many people from out of town. Like a lot of Windsor couples are loving coming to Chatham. It's a mini destination wedding. The Retro Suites is 1 block away. The Chill Cork is now our partners, and it's such a great partnership because they often book all the hotel rooms for our couples and do the rehearsal dinner. I'm just so excited. Like our first wedding with them is going to be in April, so we're
Nice.
pumped. Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it can be a destination wedding, from London even, or Toronto or Windsor, right? Even Sonia. Um, I love how you decorate the place up. You make it, you put a shine on it. I love this entrance.
Oh yeah.
I love it
I
more when
love
it looks.
lights.
I love it when it looks like this though.
Oh yes.
That's
A
magical.
little moodier.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
So
the place looks like a castle, and a lot of girls want that fairy tale wedding. So where else would you want to have a fairy tale wedding but in a castle, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like the out of town brides, especially even towards Toronto, they tell me they don't have access to a hall like that with all that exposed brick and the cathedral ceilings
Hmm.
and the natural light that is present during most ceremonies. Like it's just breathtaking, and that's partly why I decided to take over the lease of the armories. It was actually right before COVID, because I've been doing weddings for a long time. It's
Hmm.
close to 25 years I've been in the wedding industry, and it's hard work. Like often at various halls, especially out of town halls, you have to set up the day of, you have to tear down that night.
Hmm.
The Chatham Armory now, most of the time, we only book one wedding a week. So I can just enjoy the process. I can start decorating on the Wednesday. The brides and grooms or the couples come on Friday night for the rehearsal. They get to see it decorated. And then I can clean up Sunday, Monday. Like it's so amazing.
Well,
Every
I've been fortunate to be at a lot of your weddings. You refer me an awful lot. It's always elegant. It's always organized, and this is part of the organization that people forget about this
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Having a seat, if you're having formal seating, if you're having assigned seating, having that you know gorgeous handwritten direction for people to know where they go. Because let's face it, people, I call them sheeple. If you don't tell them where to go, they'll just stand there and they'll go in circles.
Yeah.
So having that kind of direction is important.
You're right. And Doug, actually, one other thing that I'm introducing soon, I actually haven't
This an
announced yet.
exclusive?
What's that?
This an exclusive?
Yes, because I
Oh,
haven't announced this yet. But I, as you know, have a dance background.
yes.
So, one element of the wedding day that hasn't really been explored a whole heck of a lot is the performance quality of the day. So, I am going to start helping couples with their choreography, whether it's for their reception or their introductions, or even just walking down the aisle for the wedding ceremony. I just think there's so much you can do with the performance aspect, whether it's bringing performers in to entertain your guests or doing something with the MCs. I just think there's a lot to explore there.
There is, and performance weddings are it's an act. Like I worked with Waylan, who's going to be on shortly, to do a performance service for another fishing actually,
Oh,
and to have it written out and cued is so important, because you want to hit that timing, and that timing is very delicate because you have a limited amount of time, and sometimes you have a limited span of attention for people. And
yes.
the bar gets open. That's where you usually find me, and people start to lose their mind.
You're right.
You balance all that you do with some great elegance. And I want to show a few more shots of what you
Sure.
do in the inside of the armors. This, I think, is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
That's gorgeous. This is very elegant.
Yes, candle walls are huge right now.
Hmm. The style that you guys have, it's never the same. It's always different.
I try to make each wedding unique.
Yeah, well, I always tell brides, and you'll hear me say this all the time to couples, it's your day, your way.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they have in their mind what they expect. And I mean, maybe we can't hit the mark every time. Maybe we can't deliver 100%, but we can try. And
Yes,
it's those professionals that I have on the show here that do try every time. And that's very, very important. So,
yes.
yeah, I want to bring in Wayling. Wayling, if he's nearby, he is another fantastic professional with, there he is, Just Grin Productions. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Very good. So when I show up at a wedding to officiate, and I have Wayling at the helm doing the music and making sure the microphone works, the PA is perfect, and I have Lisa making sure that everything is tickety boo, that the chairs are lined up and people are moving through, and there's not a cluster at the front door. I call it the A team, and you guys are definitely the A team. So yeah, it makes it so much easier. It makes it more fun. We're more relaxed, and we can really let our light shine. So, how's your season going there, Mr. Grin?
It's shaping up to be a busy one. I
Yes.
mean, after the 2 years that we've had, I'm excited to get back out there and rock it every weekend.
Well, you are out there not only rocking but getting people to rock. So I of course went through some of your pictures as well, and I picked a few of my personal favorites. This one here has to be one of my favorites.
There you go. Mateo, yeah.
I also want to say something too that I think is very important. You both are very, very talented, and I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's kilt at all. Those that know me know that I speak my mind. What I noticed about Wayling right off the bat, I was actually shadowing an officiant when I was a long time ago training. You have great musicality. And you both were at this wedding, and I walked in and I was shadowing, and the couple were from London, and she had asked Lisa to do this aromatherapy through the entire place. Remember this wedding?
Yeah, I remember it.
And
I still talk about that wedding because she created that scent as a favor too. And they say like your sense of smell is most associated with your memories.
Yep.
So
Biggest recall.
a great favor.
Yeah. It was awesome. And the music was great. The music, I mean, I think she picked it or you steered her towards the right music, but I actually I was standing by you. No one could really see me. And when some music, and I love music, I'm a huge music geek. When two of the songs came on, I very subtly pulled my phone out and Shazammed it. And I started to laugh when I realized that one of the ladies at the ceremony in the back row had her phone, and she was holding it way back like this, and she was Shazamming the music too.
There you go.
But I mean, having that musicality is really important because, I mean, we go to a lot of weddings. You hear a lot of the same songs. Maybe that you love that song, but maybe as an instrumental, it's going to be better.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you work with a professional like Waylan and his team, they're going to find something that's more appropriate for you, or something that's a little unique, because everyone's trying to up the next wedding, right? I mean, I know brides have gone to like 10 weddings before their wedding, and they've all got notes on everything. So
Yeah, the good and the bad.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Your job is to get people out dancing. I mean, I'm jumping ahead to the reception, but getting people out dancing is very important.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I find that even that pre-ceremony music really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the night.
It
So
does.
I find it important to find out from our couples what atmosphere, what vibe they're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can do everything that we need to do in order to cater towards that.
So we have a lot of crossover when it comes to couples, which makes it a lot of fun, because then I know who's running the PA, who's running the music, who's coordinating, who's making sure that everything is in place. And I know that that we both have an extensive interview process for your consults, right down to Waylan. I know you asked them what color tie you should wear. I mean, I think that's phenomenal. That's detail, buddy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
detail.
We try to cover all the bases.
Yeah. As I was saying, you get people out dancing. That's got to be your thing, right? You want to have that dance. No one wants an empty dance floor, right?
Right.
Your dance floor is typically, this is pre-COVID, so don't send any letters. This is what they look like.
Yeah.
Just jammed up with people. Everyone having a great time. Everyone dancing. Most of them have their shoes on, thank goodness, because that's one of my pet peeves.
This is still early in the night.
Still early in the but you can really set the ambiance for the room as well. And I think this is gorgeous. This looks like it should be, Caesars in Vegas. To have that kind of, projection on lighting on the walls, which is very important, to have the proper kind of lighting to set the ambiance, to set the mood.
That was Retro Suites, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the coffered ceiling. Yeah. Yeah. We got some of yours though too. So you just some coming for you too. This one here, I believe, is yours, Lisa.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah.
It elevates the room to an entirely different platform, to an entirely different way, and people get to see, that. I mean, you want to round those corners with the lighting so that the room, no one wants to look at a corner. It rounds it out. It makes it feel more cocoon-like, and people are far more happy to enjoy and relax. You also, Waylan, do some extra special things for couples, and in the way of having their name showcase, so that people know, make sure that's the right wedding.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you're at this wedding and these aren't the couple, you're at the wrong wedding.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
No, for us, it's a lot about integrating the wide variety of services that we do provide. So if somebody needs a slideshow, we can provide that screen and projector. And why not integrate all the audio as well?
Exactly.
So we have speakers that cover the whole venue, so we can take care of all that audio, so it's seamless. And then rather than just having a blank projector screen for the rest of the night, why not take up the performance value a little bit more and put up music videos that go along with all the music that we're playing? Exactly. It's integrated, and people get great value out of it because they can use it for the whole night too.
Exactly. This is also makes it very elegant. It really sets a style for the room.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And you do that as well.
So spotlight.
Yeah, and that's very cool. It's very special when they walk in and they walk across that, and I mean, it could say whatever you want it to say, or have whatever image you want on there. So I think that's extremely cool.
Yeah, we custom design all that. So we like to have couples send us their invitations and examples of their stationery, and then we can figure out what fonts they're using, what logos they're using. And then we can incorporate that into that personalized spotlight. Kind of ties everything together nicely.
It does. I also want to show sort of the importance of the room, because this here, is what the top one's what it would look like if we didn't add any accent lighting, or didn't, increase the volume of the sight lines here. Yep. Or this one here as well.
Yeah, just a little like side by side, before and after.
Yeah.
Lighting's amazing, isn't it? Like
you can do so much with it.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Really sets the tone. And what I really love about the lighting that we do is that we integrate it all. So I keep using that word, integrate. But the lighting is all software controlled and integrated with the music. So we can set the tone for, the ceremony, cocktail hour, dinner music. And then when it comes time to dancing, all that lighting is integrated with the music. So it can change to the beat of the music, can fade for slow songs, and I can program just about anything into it. So that's good value.
Yeah.
That way.
And it's important to realize too that, and I guess maybe because we look at this from a very much a plan sort of approach, is that you have your pre-ceremony, and there's a mood there, and then you have your ceremony, there's a mood there, and then you have your cocktail hour, there's a mood, and each of those moods are moving up in the scale of excitement, and then you have the party, and so the mood is changing, and to have the lighting change along with the mood is, I think, incredible. It's a great way to bring it along. It's because, again, it's one of the senses that you're employing. So that's awesome.
I must say too, I've done a couple weddings where the couples did not have a DJ for the ceremony.
Oh yeah.
And I did not think it worked. Like, it's really tough, like, to manage all that. And it's just so much easier to hire a professional.
Yeah.
Make sure that your guests feel comfortable as they're walking in, because some will show up an hour before the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, Aunt Maud's gonna be there an hour early, guaranteed. An hour before the invitation even said to be there. So I want to talk about a little more about technology with Waylan, because I know that you do, and we've gone through COVID. We learned a lot through COVID.
Yep.
Numbers were up, numbers were down. Weddings were allowed, weddings weren't allowed. A lot of weddings moved from a grand hall to backyard or a beach or a barn. Lisa, I know you were doing some petite weddings in there where it was just very, very small, very, very quiet and understated. So you had to live stream, and I was at a wedding. I did a wedding that Waylan live streamed, and I thought it was really cool. That might have actually been the wedding right there, where you're using the technology to to send this out into Zoom or whatever the case may be, and people can watch from all over.
Yeah,
we talk about that a little bit.
Tune in from all over the world. So if we're there providing the music, the soundtrack, as well as we're taking care of the microphones, why not send it out for guests that couldn't come? So we've done it with several different camera angles on different platforms as well. So that particular one we did to a platform that anybody can just click on a link and pull up, so they didn't have to sign up for an account or anything like that. They could just tune in and watch as if they were there, even though they might have been on another continent, or they just weren't able to be there that day.
Yeah, I think is that a couple from Toronto that I did their wedding?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the hoop at the front was set up. It was gorgeous. And I remember doing the service off to the side and kept thinking, am I going to, embarrass myself or offend someone in a different continent? And if so, I'd like to know which continent so I can take it off my list. So, the other great thing that you can bring to the party, which also makes parties a lot more fun, is this technology.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We've got a couple different photo booth options that people can do depending on what they're looking for. So that one in particular is what we call our social booth. So that one, it does like boomerangs and videos, that kind of thing, and people can share that instantly by text or email directly to their phone. We've also incorporated a completely touch-free option for that.
Oh, nice.
So you can scan a QR code and then design their whole photo experience, and then walk up to the photo booth, scan another code, and it steps them through that process.
Neat.
So that one's pretty popular.
And you also have props for people. I believe this is, again, I pulled this off of your Facebook. I love that.
Wowza.
Yeah, all kinds of props. So those are more popular with the mirror booth. The social booth actually has all digital props that we can incorporate there, and then the physical props and physical prints we do with our photo mirror.
Nice.
I've had Waylan provide the photo booths for some of my events, like not just weddings, and people love them. Like, that's musical booth, like they just love it.
And I want to hit home to people too that, although this is, we all say, wedding planning or wedding, it's wedding's an event. You can take the word wedding out and just say event. It's a life event. And whether you're planning a wedding or a corporate event or what have you, a funeral, it's an event, which I would want music at my funeral too, by the way, Waylan. So, let everybody have a good time. It's an event. So, I mean, whether it's photo booth at an event, wedding or otherwise, I mean, all of this is interchangeable. So
the other thing that Wayland's great at, because the armories, the acoustics are crazy. So Wayland, I always tell my couples, he knows exactly how to situate the speakers so that everybody can hear the speeches. And yeah, that's so important. So get a good sound guy.
It's very important. So what you may not know actually is a long time ago when the armories first opened, the very first event, I was the planner for it. It was the Heart and Stroke Gala.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
They were putting the toilets in before, just hours before people walked in the door. And the sound system was bouncing off of everything. The curtains weren't up there yet to bounce. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So when I go in there now and I hear the sound, I know that Waylan has set it up and it's working as it should. So
yes,
it's I mean, you have to live with it for a while to get it to work out right.
Practice. Yep.
It's a bit of an art.
You also have, I'm trying to find it here too.
I remember too, Doug, I was decorating for that and they only had the industrial lights at that time, which were yellow. So it was it called Simply Red?
Simply Red, yes.
Yeah, so everything looked simply orange because the yellow.
We had 500 people in there for the very first event. I kept praying that the place wouldn't crack or
actually, I don't think I did the first one. I did one later. That's right.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Also, what a cute couple, huh?
They are cute.
Sweet.
They got married at the armories.
Yeah, we did.
I love the fog. You have a fog machine. Not everyone has a fog machine just laying around, but you have one.
Yeah, we've got two now.
Nice.
Yeah, and those are specific low-lying fog machines. Yeah.
And it makes for a really beautiful photo. It makes for that first dance to make it extra special and
so magical.
And you can, that's part of what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with weddings, getting back to normal, whatever normal is going to be. How far are you guys booking? I know, Lisa, you're booking into 2023 as well, like I am. Waylan, I'm assuming you are too, because the
2023 as well, and
crazy.
A few 2024 inquiries. So.
Me too. Yeah,
people are planning.
Well, that's good. I mean, they need to plan, and that's important. So, what I want to do real quick here is, I want to come back and show some pictures of the armories of Lisa's great work. But before I do that, and before I forget, because that happens. I want to. We're sponsored by With This Ring, which is my officiating arm, and I want to talk about a pro tip. So let's do pro tip.
Sure.
That is a very long jingle. So, I'm going to do a pro tip every week. You guys, if you have one, you can throw it in. But I'm going to lead off with what I think is important, and it has no bearing on who my guests are because I go to a lot of weddings. I'm a certified wedding planner or event planner myself. And Lisa, you sort of mentioned it earlier. One of the things that is so important is the sound of the room or the area. Having proper PA, having that music. So when people walk in, they automatically feel more relaxed. Their heart rates drop. They feel easier. The couple feel more relaxed when there's that background music playing before the service. It really sets the tone and the mood for the event, and it really relaxes people. But more importantly, not just the you want to make sure that you have a professional that's going to be pumping the sound up properly, not on a little Bluetooth pill. That's not going to do it. Sound doesn't travel far enough for it. The sound needs to hit the bride, the groom, and the audience, because the bride needs to hear the song that she's walking down on, so she's able to walk. It sets them. It makes them a little more. It wells them up a little bit more. They're gonna, they're gonna be a little bit more mushy and pliable when they hear it. But not only music for the service, but the service during the signing, so there's not like dead air while people are going to sign their documents, or there's not dead air when they walk out. So the recessional and processional are very important for music, but to have it all in amongst. So having a proper DJ there to do the music is extremely important. I did a wedding in Blenheim, and they had someone there running a little sound system, very, very small, didn't have enough wattage to get out, couldn't pump it out. And I went up to the young guy and I said, do you have any music you can play? Like wedding people are just milling about. And he's like, no, I don't. And I said, here. I gave him my iPhone because I have a playlist on there for that. So here,
Nice.
play this. And it changed the mood completely. So,
Oh, yeah.
do you guys have any tips?
I do.
All right, go for it.
So for me, with doing this for so long, like I said before, my goal is to make the couple's day worry-free. Do your research on your vendors, and once you figure out who you want, trust them.
Mm-hmm.
So completely trust them. Don't worry about a thing. If you've done your research, if you've hired the professionals that are good at what they do, just trust them to do what they got to do and just enjoy the ride.
But that is a really good one, actually. You have to build a level of trust with people before they can do that, which is, it may take a bit of time. Not everyone gets full trust right away, but having that trust. I did a wedding that I employed. I mentioned this earlier to about Waylan, and I was actually on a flight to Las Vegas, and it was November, and I was listening to music, and I went, this would make for a really great production service. I do production services, but are more work, which is great, but they have more impact. So I landed, and I text Waylan from Las Vegas, said, I've got this wedding. You're going to be the DJ. Are you cool with working with me on this? And he was like, absolutely. That was it. Just absolutely. So I queued it up, told him what songs to play during the service. I'll say this, and when I say this, you play this portion of that song. And it was a production wedding. And I told the groom when I got back from Vegas, I said, I want to take you to the next level. I want to do a full production wedding as opposed to just a regular wedding. I mean, they're all fun weddings, but this just took it to a different level. And he trusted me. He said, yeah, whatever you want to do, I trust you completely. And he still talks about this wedding to this day, because I wrote a service around the music itself and how it reflected on this couple, and they didn't see it coming. They did not see it coming. But Waylan was a champ, and I literally gave him my cue sheet. I think I emailed it to him the day before and printed off a copy and brought it the day of, and he had it queued up and ready to go in a heartbeat. So
it went off perfectly.
Trust is good. Waylan, you got anything for us? Any tips?
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of all on a similar page here. Right at the beginning of this session, Doug, you mentioned booking the people that you want first.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that goes hand in hand with budgeting as well. As I ask couples, I'm like, well, do you have a budget? We can put together like a package. If you have a specific number in mind, let me know and we'll work with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like couples need to prioritize what is important to them and then set their budget accordingly. So whether it's the food or the photos or the entertainment, maybe the cake's important to them, and they should set their budget according to those priorities.
Well, I think you can see it too, because you go to a wedding, and for some people, the flowers are the most important thing, and there's flowers, everywhere from tip to tail everywhere, and the bouquets are gorgeous, and some they just want something very small and very modest, and that's okay. They want to spend money somewhere else. Maybe it's on, good wine or cake or party favors or whatever. Weddings are not cheap. We know that for a fact. And now with people doing smaller weddings, maybe they spend a little more on the quality things. so they can give the best to a smaller demographic of people that are coming to their weddings. Lisa, you have a very large hall. I want to talk to you about this, the size, because you can downsize this for people. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah. That was 450 people. That was a Greek wedding.
oh yeah, pre-COVID.
Yes. We do have quite a few weddings booked this year for 200 or 250. I'm hoping by next year we'll get back up to some 400 to 500 person weddings.
Yes. Yes, they are a blast. They're a lot of fun. But something as simple as this is just, a very simple, some greenery,
That
some
is
candles.
that is basically the Armory's bare bones. So
Yep.
even the bare bones look great. And that's one thing, like Waylan's talking about budget. I find a lot of couples come to me and they have no idea what things cost when it comes to decor
Uh-huh.
for weddings. So I tend to sit down with them, get to know what they like, look at their vision board. I can pretty much instantly see their decor style. And I tell my couples, the first quote I give you is going to be elaborate. Like it's going to be everything that I can creatively think of putting together for your design vision. And then I make sure I price everything out individually. So then they can just pick and choose what will work with their budget. So, because, at first some couples want everything. And then once they see the pricing, they're like, oh, wait a minute, we got to cut back here a little bit. Or sometimes they see the pricing, they're like, oh my gosh, it's cheaper than I thought. Let's add some things.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, so I try to give them lots of options with the first quote. And then from there, we just keep revising. And it's so important for your vendors to be super flexible.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another great shot of a large gathering. I want to talk about something that, and this is not a pro tip, maybe this should be a pro tip next week, but the flip. I mean, I've gone to weddings and venues, not your venue because you know better, where they've had everyone at their tables for the actual wedding ceremony. And you get people at the back of the room that are chit-chatting or on their phone. They're not engaged with their heart's not connected to the actual moment. Because they don't want to pay for the flip. They don't want to pay to have all those chairs moved or the tables scattered back to where they belong. And it's worth it because when people are sitting as close as they can, shoulder to shoulder, whatever the case may be, they have a more connectedness to the service. They're closer to it. They can feel it. They're more focused on what's going on up front as opposed to on their phone. Yeah. And that the flip is important. And some people charge for it, some people don't. But it's an important thing to talk to your vendor about. So
yeah, the Chatham Armory, we charge $500 for you to have your ceremony on site, and we do not charge extra for the flip.
Awesome. That's big. That's huge. One more shot.
It takes us 20 minutes to flip the room. And the funny thing is, since COVID, people have no idea what we're doing. They're so into their conversation, so into like having a drink and chit-chatting with their family or friends that they have no idea that the room's being flipped. And then they turn around and they're like, oh my gosh, when did that
happen?
Yeah.
Well, and that's true. They haven't seen their friends in 2 years. They haven't been out, and they don't know how to behave in public anymore.
And everybody's drinking way more.
Yeah, I know. I know. He says as he takes a sip of his Pinot Grigio. Gorgeous, as usual.
We did a mix of high and low centerpieces at that wedding.
Gorgeous.
We also did a mix of rectangle tables and round tables, which is
I love that. It doesn't all have to be exactly the same. It can be eclectic. So yeah. So that's awesome. I mean, you guys do a great job. Like I said at the top of the show, you guys, when I show up at a wedding, it's the A team. I worry less and enjoy more. And you guys do a great job. You make weddings look great. You're in the background doing things that people don't always see. That wedding in question that I talked about earlier with the aromatherapy. I remember leaving because I don't stay for receptions unless I know you or would be on your list, because what happens is I get stuck at the kids table or I'm at the bar too much. But I remember the bus that the bride and bridal party
Oh,
came
yeah.
on got stuck.
Yeah, in the mud. It was a February wedding. It was February 4th, and it was nice and muddy.
Yeah,
But
And
no one knew. No one knew. The bride was ill. You kept bringing her tea, and your
had a
assistant was
really bad cold.
yes, and you kept
Yeah, so I
here's your
kept bringing
tea.
her honey lemon tea.
Yep, and then
Yeah.
you had your faithful sidekick out there getting the bus towed out, and
Yep.
no one knew. No one knew. It was
all
great.
the floor mats from my truck were under the bus tires. They were so muddy, it was ridiculous. But
Yep.
we got it out.
That's our job as vendors. Like, nothing's ever wrong. We've got it handled. Don't stress anyone out. Like, we've got this. Yeah.
Yep. It's your day, so enjoy it. Well, you guys have made my day. It's always great to talk to you guys about weddings, and I encourage everyone out there to find a vendor, find a pro that you want to work with. If you're planning your wedding, if you're planning an event, if you're planning. Someone laughed at me when I told them this. I actually do divorce services too. So you can have a divorce ceremony, which includes a party.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
As
on
it
board.
should. Oh yeah, divorce ceremonies. Well, I guess Nicole Kidman made it very popular when she said uncoupling. So there's a service for that. So yeah.
One
So
thing,
fine.
Doug, I am still doing decorating at other halls in Chatham, but I'm trying to focus more on the Armory these days. But if I'm not super busy, I will look at other halls in Chatham. I don't want to do outdoor weddings anymore because they're just so much work. So I usually pass those inquiries off to other decorators in town. And I don't want to do out of town weddings anymore either. I just want to focus on our lovely city.
Exactly. I mean, you've done a ton of decor for weddings. I remember going to a friend's funeral, two of my friends' funerals. You had done the decor for that. You can tell Lisa's style when you see it, and it's always done right. It's always professional and very, very classy. So, kudos for you to focus on your home base.
That's COVID. It taught me that. Like, I'm going to be a little more selective now with the weddings I take. I really want to focus more on developing a relationship with all my couples. So yeah, I'm excited for this next chapter.
Good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you both, actually. You guys both do quality work. So again, we're going to be here for the next, for the entire month, talking about wedding stuff. So I invite all of you to come back and learn some more. And we'll talk to you two on the backside in one moment. But thank you, folks, for coming out and talking to us. This is going to be on a rerun, as I call a re-engage on the weekend. You'll see it there, and you can rewatch it, share it with your friends. If you're not going to a wedding show, or if you want more information, I definitely suggest you find our YouTube page under Engagement Life Project. And you'll find last year's comments where we talked to photographers and vendors and DJs and decor and everything else under the sun as a master class in weddings. So if you're looking for more information, I encourage you to go there and rewatch it. And while you're there, like, subscribe, all those things that make life much better. So thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.